Hello, Booktube. Hello, friends. Welcome to LizziefayeLovesBooks. I'm Elizabeth. It has been a few minutes since I did a video, and I am so behind on everything that I want to share with you and tell you about. And I am completely overwhelmed with life right now. I've been decluttering and working in my house. I had a fantastic birthday, which I want to share with you. I have filmed myself opening some of my gifts and things like that, but that is not going to be in this video because I think in a linear fashion, and I still have some October things that I want to tell you about. So I'm not even going to go through my October wrap-up in this video. I just have a little bit of footage that I want to share with you. I also bought a few books about a week before my birthday. I did some book shopping. I really kind of took a day to go book shopping, and I discovered a new bookstore, and I shot some footage there I want to show you, and I'll show you what I bought that day that I am keeping. I did buy a few things to resell on eBay or to add to some other lots that I already have listed, things like that. But I'm not going to show you all of that because it would just take too long, and I'm not keeping most of it anyway. I will show you a couple of things that I got to resell or that I might possibly resell later, but just the most interesting things. Anyway, I want to just kind of catch you up a little bit with what happened in my life in October and show you some of the books that I bought. And then in a separate video, I will share what I read in the month of October. And then after that, I'll start on all the birthday stuff. I had a fantastic birthday. It started out a little rocky, but by the next day, I had a huge surprise. And then the day after that, I filmed opening the gifts that people sent me. And so all of that is going to take a little bit of time because since my birthday, I have been working on decluttering my home. I've been sort of doing the Fly Lady zones and everything, and I'm so focused on that while I'm doing that, I've been watching and listening to decluttering videos. I haven't even really been listening to audiobooks. I've listened to one audiobook so far this month, and I may not get my 25 by 25 challenge done. I may not even start it because I'm so excited about decluttering, but that's okay because this is important, and those books will be there whenever I get ready to listen to them. So for this video, let me just make this quick and fast because I have book club in a few minutes, but I had a little extra time, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to film something fast that I can upload this evening just to touch base with you and let you know that I have lots of birthday footage, and I am planning to share that with you, just not at this moment because I'm a little overwhelmed. So first of all, the biggest thing, I guess, that happened to us in the month of October was Hurricane Milton. Hello, guys. How are you? There's a hurricane coming. Y'all better find something safe. Oh, starting to rain. And I want to show you a little bit of the footage. I probably won't show you the video footage, but I'll just take some screenshots of some of the footage that I shot from our yard and around our house. It was not bad for us here. We did have our internet go out, but we never lost electricity, thankfully. We have had definitely much worse here, but we are very thankful. There were some palm fronds down, and the street was messy. There was a good bit of debris in the street. We did have a branch that landed on our fence, and it was coincidentally from a tree that we lost a branch out of a year or two ago, which bent the fence then, and so it landed again right on the spot of the fence that was already bent. So it didn't really do anything that wasn't already done, and we are just very thankful. There was a lot of flooding in Tampa, where my daughter goes to college at University of South Florida, and she was out of school for several days because of that. And I was just asking her today if things were, kind of back to normal. And she said that there is still one of her classes that's meeting in a different building because there was some damage to one of the buildings, I think one of the science buildings where she normally has class. So, it just takes a while to recover from these things. But thankfully, we did not get any major damage here. And then as the month continued on, I got closer and closer to my birthday, and I decided that since we were having a yard sale the day after my birthday, and I was not excited about it, by the way, I kind of postponed getting ready for it as long as possible. But then finally, a few days before the yard sale, I had to get out in the garage and, start sorting through the things and getting ready for that. And it did put a little bit of a damper on my actual birthday. We did work on the Little Free Library some, but I'll tell you right now, it's not done. So I'm not going to show you any of that Little Free Library footage yet. I am vlogging the whole process, and I have shot some footage, and I have taken some photos. So I will show you at least a couple of pictures in my birthday video. But for now, let's just stick with October. So about a week before my birthday, I decided that since I wasn't going to be able to do any book shopping on my birthday or that same weekend, that I should go the weekend before. And I found a new bookstore, and I shot some footage there. I want to show you. And I went to several different places where I bought books. So before I show you the footage of the new bookstore, let me just show you a few of the things that I picked up that day. And then I'll show you the footage of the new store. And if you ever find yourself in Central Florida, I hope that you will go there and check it out. So I can't even remember now how many different places that I stopped to shop for books. I didn't buy books at every place, but one of the first places I went to was the Friends of the Library in Avon Park, Florida. I went south of my home. I don't go that way very often, but I had an appointment about a half an hour south of my house, and I thought, well, I'm already this far. I may as well just keep going south on Highway 27, and I stopped in Frostproof and Avon Park and Sebring. I did not get to go to all the places I wanted to go because I took too long at the first places that I went. In fact, my stop at Frostproof was really unplanned. It was at a library, but I thought, you know what, I'm rarely ever down this way, and I just wanted to stop in there and share my appreciation to the librarian at this one library because they are the library that hangs on to some of the older stuff. And that's the stuff that I'm always looking for. I have several times started looking for some older things that I want to read or research or whatever, and they will be the only library in the county that will have it. So I met the librarian there, and I said, I just want to thank you so much for the stuff that you offer the patrons because a lot of the other libraries just get rid of stuff faster, and it's frustrating when I can't find the things that I'm looking for. So they were having a fill-a-bag for $1 sale, and when she was telling me that, she said, I hope we still have some of the stuff that you want because we've just weeded out some stuff. I said, no, it's fine. I will enjoy looking through what you have weeded out. And it did end up getting several things for free there. They had a bunch of romance books that were free, and I picked those up to add to my eBay store. And I also bought some things, but now I don't remember exactly what I bought there and what I bought at the other places. But one thing I do remember that I bought there, and this was one of the first things I saw when I came in the door, and I said, oh, how much is this? And it wasn't the librarian that was at the front desk. I met her later. But anyway, the girl who was there at the front desk, she's like, $1 or a donation? And I was like, sold. What I got was this box set. It's a 14 box set of the TV show Are You Being Served? Now, I have never seen this show that I can recall. Maybe I've seen clips of it. Should I watch this? Have any of y'all seen the show? Would it be something I would enjoy watching before I sell it? I'm definitely going to resell it because I thought, wow, for $1, I am sure I can flip that and make a tidy profit. So I didn't even look it up till later. And it looks like these sets are going for around $30, maybe a little less since this one's already open. But I think my husband and I might enjoy watching that first and, testing it before we list it in our eBay store. And then later on, I went to another library sale and I found this book. So I will list this with the DVDs to kind of make it a nice, interesting lot. And I think that'll be a really good thing to put in my eBay store. Oh, and then also at that same library, I found a copy of Cinderella 2 for my daughter Emily. She has the original Cinderella on VHS, and then she's got Cinderella 3 on DVD. And I was like, I don't think you have Cinderella 2. I don't even remember what Cinderella 2 is about. I think we've seen it. Maybe we checked it out from the library, but we didn't have it. So we'll enjoy watching that together. So from Frostproof, we stopped in Avon Park. And that is a library bookstore connected to the library. So I was in there in the bookstore, and I bought several things. And she said, oh, before you go, if you go in the library, there are some other things for sale, some 10-cent paperbacks and things like that. And so I went in there and got probably another $3 worth of books there, some vintage paperbacks and things like that. So that was really fun. But the most exciting thing for me that I found at the Avon Park store was my own copy of the Daniel Plain cookbook and the Daniel Plain book. Now, I have been using a library copy of the Daniel Plain book to reread. I've already put my own tabs in this one because I have gone through at least 3 different library copies because I'll keep it as long as I can, and then I have to send it back, and I move the tabs each time. So this now finally is my own copy. It even came with these little butterfly stickers. I'm going to leave those on. And the cookbook too, because we have really gotten off track with our diet, but I really do like the Daniel Plain. So we are going to continue on and persevere through the holidays and on into next year and continue our weight loss. I'm kind of stalled with where I am. I've lost about 15 pounds, and my daughter Emily has lost about 12, I think, and we are going to definitely continue on. But I had a couple of copies of my own of the Daniel Plain book that I've given to other people, and I didn't have my own, so now I have my own, and I'm thrilled about it. Also at that same store, I got a couple of kids' books for Emily. She was there with me. We got a Charlie Brown book and a VeggieTales book, so those are fun. And then I picked up this vintage book, and I didn't know anything about it, but lately I have been really looking more at vintage books with vintage covers. Sonia from Soniawithani and Mitzi from Mitzi Reads and Writes have both done some vintage hauls in the last couple of months. And so I saw this and I thought, ooh, I'm going to pick this up. And as I read about it, it turns out it's about a missionary family. I can't even remember now what country they are in, but it just looked very intriguing, and I thought, I'm going to pick this up. I believe it's a middle grade book, so I went ahead and grabbed it. And somewhere along the way, I found this book by the Florida author Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. She wrote a lot about Florida, and this is called Voice of the River. So I picked that up, and I also got Careless in Red by Elizabeth George. Now, I recently picked up several books by Elizabeth George at another sale, a library sale that I went to, I guess in September. This is not in nearly as good a shape as the ones I picked up, but now that I have a good start on collecting Elizabeth George, if I'm find any of these, this edition of the paperbacks, I'll probably go ahead and pick them up just so that I can finish completing my collection of Elizabeth George books. And then this one I picked up. Okay, you're probably going to ask why. In fact, I often wonder if you wonder why I have 2 copies of Dead Solid Perfect right here. I've never really talked about it that I can recall, but the reason I have 2 copies is one is the movie tie-in and one is just a regular copy of it. And I picked up another one. This one is a mass market paperback. This one looks a little racy. But the reason I have these is because I was in this movie. It was a movie made for HBO. That should have clued me in right there that it was probably a pretty racy book. In fact, I didn't even realize when I was in the movie that it was based on a book. It starred Randy Quaid. It had Bibi Besh in it. And Bibi Besh, incidentally, makes me 2 degrees from Kevin Bacon. By being in this movie that Bibi Besh was in, she was in Tremors, and then she was also in Peter Lundy and the Medicine Hat Stallion. She played Leif Garrett's mother in that book. So I'm 2 degrees from Leif Garrett and 2 degrees from Kevin Bacon. Of course, nobody plays 3 degrees from Leif Garrett, but they do play 3 degrees from Kevin Bacon. So I don't know. I just think that's kind of fun. Anyway, I saw this and I thought, oh, I don't have this edition either. I've never read the book. It's probably It will probably make me blush and probably make me wish I hadn't been in the movie. But I was just an extra. It was a golf movie, and it was a lot of fun. My cousin and I went down to the Dallas area to work on that movie a couple of different days, and it was just a lot of fun. So that was back when I was in my 20s. It was in between college years one summer, and it was a lot of fun. Anyway, then something else I picked up for Emily and me is the Muppet Christmas movie. I don't think I've ever seen this, so I had to go ahead and grab that. And then I don't remember where I got these books, but I got a book by June Masters Bacher. I've lately been picking up books by her and also Jane Peart here and there. These are two older Christian authors that my mom used to read, so I grabbed that one. I also found this Trixie Belden book, and it's in paperback, but I used to have a hardcover of this, I think, 1970s edition. This one is called The Marshland Mystery, and it is number 10. So I just had to go ahead and grab it. And then I found two hardcover Emily Loring books. Now, I have a couple of paperbacks by her. I've never read any Emily Loring books, and I think these are library editions. This one is called Follow Your Heart, and this one is called Across the Years. But I just loved these. I just thought that these are just really neat looking, and I thought I would go ahead and grab them. Then I also picked up, I think for $1, an audiobook by Orson Scott Card called Children of the Fleet. I think this is also set in Ender's world. That is about all that I want to show you from that day, except for the one book I bought at the news store that I discovered. But I just heard my timer go off that tells me it's time to leave for book club, so I'm going to have to wrap this up quick. The book I found, I was so excited about it. This is Splendor of the Mind's Eye by Alan Dean Foster. This is the very first Star Wars book that was written after the first original novelization of the movie Star Wars. So I didn't have it, and it matches my others. I had checked out a hardcover copy of this from the library. Thankfully, the library had it. I've already read it. All of my other 70s and 80s books from Star Wars are the vintage copies, and they're all in mass market paperback. So I was thrilled to get this. I only paid $1.99 for it, and I was super excited. So let me go now to the footage of the store where I got this. I tell you the name of it and everything in that footage, and then I'll be back to sign off. So I have just been shopping at this wonderful, fairly new little bookstore in Sebring, Florida. It's called Beach House Books and More and Coffee Cafe. And I've been in shopping, and I want to show you inside because it's delightful. They have a mix of new and used books. Mostly what's up front here, I believe, is all new books. New releases, bestsellers, things like that. Lots of comfy spaces to sit and relax with a book. They have a dog. This is Princess Caroline. And this is Randy, one of the owners. In this room back here, they have paperbacks. They also do gift baskets here. You can choose the things you want to put in them, and the other owner will put the baskets together for you. It is really fun in here. They've got some antique books, collectible things. But the really fun thing is this used to be a doctor's office. So in each of the exam rooms, there is a different theme of book. So this one is juvenile, young adult, and sci-fi in here. And on down the hall, we've got Princess Caroline. On down the hall is children's. The children's room is delightful. This is owned partly by a retired librarian, and she is so creative. Look at this. This is just gorgeous. And then in here, this is the little cafe. The coffee is self-serve, and there's other goodies that you can purchase. Across the hall, we've got fiction. Of course, it's all decorated for fall right now. And then the next room is mystery. I think mystery also picks up in another room because there wasn't enough space here for all of it. But very beautifully displayed. And then the last room is nonfiction. So also beautiful, lots of good selections here. They are going to be expanding into another part of this building soon. And if you find yourself in Central Florida, specifically in Sebring, you should definitely stop by. Isn't that such a neat store? I really enjoyed going there, and I definitely will be going back. There is another used bookstore in the town of Sebring that closed before I could get there, so I'm definitely going to have to make another trip down there. I did also go to the Friends of the Library bookstore briefly, but they were closing in just a couple of minutes after I got there. So I ran in, looked around really quick, but I didn't really have time to shop, so I didn't purchase anything there. And so I'm definitely going to have to make a trip back down to Sebring and make sure that I allow enough time to actually shop at the places that I want to go to. I'm going to jump in here. It is a few days later, almost a week, and I had plans to get this video edited and uploaded on the same night that I filmed the video, and I sat down at the computer later that night to start pulling everything together. I went looking through my photos to get some photos to add to the video, and I realized that I had forgotten about my wedding anniversary, which is in October. October the 16th, my husband and I celebrated 26 years of married life together. I know last year shoulda, woulda, coulda been a bigger year, but things were just crazy, and I don't know, we just weren't focusing on our relationship at that point, and my husband scheduled a couple of appointments that day and things like that, and it was just like, hello, this is our anniversary. So this year, we've been working the last several months to do better, and we had already talked to our daughter Katie to see if she would have any time at all around our anniversary, or any time really, just to come here and stay with her sister so that we could have a date out together. And so that is what we did. We went out to dinner together by ourselves for the first time in years. Probably 6 years to be exact, because on our 20th wedding anniversary, when Katie was still in high school, she had the afternoon off of school, and so we said, hey, would you stay home with your sister so that we can go and have lunch? And on that particular day, Emily was having a bad seizure day, and the seizures continued and continued and continued. So we ended up coming home from lunch early. I had to go to work that evening, but Randy ended up taking her to the hospital, and then that started a whole series of hospital visits, brain surgery, all of that kind of stuff. So it has been a long time since we went out to dinner together, and we had a really good time. Katie had discovered a vegan restaurant in Lakeland that none of us had been to. So we went there, and I'm going to show you the pictures of what we ate. We each got a different entree, and then we ended up, sampling each other's food. One was a nacho dish, and the other was some kind of a salad, I think. I don't even remember now, but anyway, they were both very, very good. And the restaurant had a wonderful atmosphere. I even took pictures of one of the art pieces that was framed on one of the shelves because I recognized it from my childhood. I think I had stationery with this design on it, and I looked it up and discovered that it's a Hummel design. And that makes sense because Hummels were really big back then. I even took a picture of the wallpaper in the bathroom because it was a really cool citrus design, and I just loved it. And then they even had books. They even had a little shelf of books, and I guess you could treat it like a little free library. Maybe you could just pick up a book to read while you're waiting on your food. I don't know. But on the very top of the stack was a book called Live to Eat, or Eat to Live, or something like that. I don't know. I've read that book. It's a diet book, and it was a pretty good book. And it was right before Halloween, so they had Halloween decorations out. And there was a skeleton sitting on the couch. And Randy looked over and said, wow, he could have used that book. And so we had a little fun with the skeleton and gave him the book and took a picture. And then we just left it there. We ended up going back the next week with Emily because we had found out there was a car show in Lakeland the next weekend. And so we decided we would go ahead and eat there again. And I was curious to see if they would have let him keep the book, but they didn't. They had someone had put it back on the stack. Anyway, it was fine. But we just, had a little fun with the skeleton while we were there. But we had a nice anniversary trip. And then, like I said, the next week we went back there. Sadly, though, the car show had wrapped up early and it was gone. It was done when we got into town. So we ended up at one of the local bookstores there. It's a store called Inklings, and it is actually the store that used to be in the location where my bookstore owners opened a second shop. It's called Booker Readerville now, but Inklings is still in existence. They just moved to a downtown location, and they're open on Sunday afternoons for a few hours. So, we had to salvage the day, right? And I said, well, while we're in town, we may as well go book shopping, right? So I got a couple of Star Wars books that day there at Inklings, and I do not remember which Star Wars books that I got. I also found the sequel to The Scythe, which is book 2 in the Arc of the Scythe series by Neil Shusterman, and I've already given that to Katie, but I was excited to find that because you don't see those books very often. I have only ever run across 2 paperback copies of Scythe, and one I gave to Katie, and the other I bought and I resold on eBay, and this is the first time I've ever found book 2, so we're hoping that we can find book 3 at some point, and there's a short story book that I have not read called Gleanings. So anyway, enough of that. Now let me go back to finish the video. That's all I want to share with you in this video. I will be back soon with my October wrap-up, and then probably 1 or 2 videos related to my birthday and everything that happened there and my gifts and all of that. It was just a fantastic weekend. So for now, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.